Hi, I'm Val from Motion Boutique, and welcome to this breakdown of this movie called MOPA. MOPA is a 3D school in France, in Arles, and last year they changed their name and design and some kind of rebrand, and they asked us to create this movie. And in this movie, this is one of the very first movie that has used Pastiche. And it used Pastiche, but it also used Newton. So I'm going to show you how we use both tools to create some cool effect that you can look now. So this is the Pastiche part, and this is Newton. So obviously we have used the magnetic features of Newton. Okay, so let's look at the final at this shot and at the final After Effects project. So basically it's three parts. The very first part is just the circle that appear. That's my first part. The second part is the one that used Pastiche, and then the last part is the one that used Newton. I'm not going to talk about the first part, which is not really interesting. The way all the circles appear. And basically, I just duplicate that composition, and well, I had that new composition, which is part 2, and this is where I've done the pastiche effect. So in this part, all my circle I fixed, and then I've created a font. This is my source, and inside my source, there's just that text layer, and well, I've applied pastiche. You will see it's really simple, and well, it creates finally this 400 text with all the little circles. Then the last part, the third part, it's I've also duplicate once again my composition, and I've brought this into Newton, and I've create and it created effects using only the magnet effect. Okay, so let's load a clean version of my project. Okay, great. So that's the first part. And as I said, I won't talk about this one. So let's go straight to the second part. The second part, my objects, all my circles are here. They are all on different layers, and I have my source here for my 400 text, and I want to morph. I want to animate my circles to morph from that rectangle shape to the 400. Okay, so let's start, and let's directly apply Pastiche, Motion Boutique, Pastiche. So what I want to do is, first I want to create, in fact, two different states. I'm going to use, in the animation frame to render, I want to use the from layer markers. I'm going to put two markers, and Pastiche is going to apply keyframes at the time of the markers. So the first one is the first collage is that collage. I don't want my objects to move. I just want them to stay put. So what I'm going to do is simply apply keyframes on position and scale, and set them to use previous value. So use previous value is going to set keyframes to all my layers at the current state. Okay. So that's my first mark, and my second mark is going to be here. For example, I'm going to set already my marker, and what I want is I want my layers to act as organic and scale from neighborhood, and I don't want them to I want them to have some space between each other, so I'm going to set my rescale factor to 85%. The layer order is going to be random. Okay, we could run a test. Let's hit create every from layer marker. That's all, create. Okay, that's done. Let's make a preview. Okay, and well, that's exactly what I wanted to have. Well, in the movie, it was a very early version of Pastiche, and since then we had a lot of features. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to show you that you can do much more things here. Like, we could set the spatial interpolation to random inner and outer, and also we could set some offset frames, so all the circles won't move, will move at a different time, maybe 25 frames, and we could set like them to start moving from the center of the image. That's pretty cool. And the offset method, yes, it will start from the center of the image, then goes to the border of the image. Okay, and also we could set the temporal interpolation to something else, like maybe punch in and out. Let's try this. Let's hit create again. And that's done. So let's make a preview now. As you can see, we have something totally different. Okay, that's not bad, but I want to correct something. I'm going to change the offset frames. I'm going to show you something. You can set an offset frame here. Let's say not 5, but 50 frames. And let's set another offset here to, let's drop it to 0. So you will see that the circle will, the animation of the circle will offset of 50 frames at the beginning, but they will all come to the next stop all together. Let's hit create to see that. Okay, done. And as you can see, if I open all my last keyframe, my last markers, all the keyframes are set to these markers, but on the other one, it's offset of 50 frames. Okay. I don't like that. I don't like the punch in, punch out. So I'm going to change that real quick. I'm going to set this to punch out, which is great. Cancel. I want to remove, yes. Punch out. Have you seen that? You can really tweak the animation the way you want with really basic. That's another look of the animation, and I've animated 400 layers there. Okay, well, a little less, but it's really fluent. It's really easy to do. Okay, so let's say I like that animation, and now I want to do my last part using Newton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all my layers here, copy, and drop them into my third part. Okay. Now the thing is that I have all the animation and I want to remove all my keyframes. So now all my layers are not moving anymore. If I look carefully to the animation for Newton, you can see that there is also an offset on the layers when they start to move. Okay, and we have to create that, and I'm going to show you that there's a little trick to do that. Okay, so well, let's launch Newton, and here we are. So to achieve my effect, first you have seen that there is no gravity, so I'm going to cut the gravity and put it on 0. So if I play, nothing will move because there is no gravity. But what I want to do is I want to add some magnetism. So the magnetism type is not attraction, but it's repulsion. Okay? And if I play, what a mess. It's working, but it's really quick, and that's not what I want. I want something much more smoother and slower. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the magnet intensity, and let's see. Well, that's much better, but that's not that. I can also lower the distance, maybe. Which is kind of okay now. But what I'm going to do also is I'm going to add some damping on linear damping. So what's going to happen? It's kind of going to slow down and to smooth my moves. You can see like my objects kind of it's like they are acting like they were running in mud or something like this. But they are kind of they want to stop. That's not the greatest way to achieve that. So perhaps I'm going to lower my linear damping. But in fact, I'm going to rise my magnetic distance. But one more really important thing is, well, all my objects are moving at the same time, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the auto load save settings first and close Newton. And I'm going back here. I'm going to set all my in-out point to 0. And I'm going to create maybe just one layer, and I'm going to set pastiche here. And I'm going to apply scale ignore and position use previous value, and I want to add an offset of, let's say, 50 frames, and I'm going to force the keyframe. And doing that, I'm going to have one position key set at at a different time value. Let's make it like maybe 75. Okay. Hit create, done. Okay. Let's remove that now. So my objects are not moving, but I have this keyframe. I'm going to use that keyframe as a trigger. Before my keyframe, objects are not going to move, but after that keyframe, objects will be allowed to move. Because inside Newton, I can use a specific type of object. It's kinematic. I just need to select that and look. That's great. Okay, I'm going to tweak my just a little bit. Maybe go back to my make composition, and going to reduce the timing here because I want my objects to move at the very beginning. Okay, that's great. And go back to Newton. And now it's starting now. That's great. And I want also, I'm going to reduce, in fact, maybe to cut the linear damping. Okay, some objects are moving really fast. What I could do is like maybe well, I had to add substeps to my global properties because it gives me more precision to my animation. But also I could change the time divider. So if I rise it, you can see that it's going to slow my animation. So maybe I could set this to 1.2 or something like this. And maybe also I could rise the magnet distance finally. Well, that's not bad. Let's render this to After Effects and let's see what happens. Oh, sorry. Going to change the end frame. Okay, so now if I go back to my project, I should have part 3, 4, and with my animation set in Newton. So maybe some of you will ask why the animation is starting from the center of the image and going to from the border. Is because when I set remember when I set Pastiche in the animation tab, the offset, when I set the offset, the offset method was from distance from image center, and I could change like to something else. Okay, let's go back to this. Well, that's it. Needs a little more tweaks to maybe to have the object going way faster or something, but that's the recipe of this effect. We really believe that Pastiche and Newton have a lot in common. You can really use them, use Pastiche to place a lot of objects, and then use Newton to make them move. So now that I have all my animation, I can I can edit them. So the first part was here. The second part with Pastiche has been already created, and now I have to apply my third part, which is this one, the one created with Newton. And let's make a preview of all this. Half. Well, of course, it needs the final touch for all the layers to disappear, but well, as you can see, really fast, good results. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.